and welcome to Let's Go Speaks. Today is Tuesday, April 8th, 9th, something like that. And this is episode 240 something. 44, 33. It's 43. It's definitely 43. Hi, how are you? Gus says hello. He says hi. Say hi, Gus. He's so nosy. Oh, your breath stinks. Oh. He needs a haircut really bad, but our grooming lady can't get him in. And so I've been occasionally just like sneaking like a few snips off the top knot there. So he's got homemade haircut shame. I'm sorry, guys. Only one person in this house doesn't get homemade haircuts, and that's Tova. Everybody else is subject. The dogs do get real out of the house haircuts, but our groomer has transitioned into doing a mobile grooming studio, and she took some time off. So in the meantime, Annie got a full-on homemade haircut, and she looks beautiful, but that's because she's always beautiful anyway. And then Gus has not gotten a full haircut because I'm like, he's wiggly, and I don't want to stab him in the eye. But like every once in a while, I just sneak in a little bit. Thomas the other day was like, why is there hair all over the kitchen? No, she said, why is there fluff all over the kitchen floor? And I'm like, oh, what did he tear up now? And she's like, no, it's his hair. And I was like, oh, sorry, I forgot. I got like a few snips in and then forgot to sweep up because this. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. This is in fact a knitting podcast. It's not a grooming podcast. But let's face it, today there's very little knitting. I'm just going to be honest with you. There's very little knitting. Last night I actually contemplating casting on a project just so I had something new to show you. But then I remembered that I have a video of a woodpecker's tongue to show you. And so then I was like, it's okay if I don't have knitting. Because, hi. Mutual of Omaha, Wild America. Do you want to just do that right now? I feel like I should build up to it because it's like so exciting. Okay, but I'm just going to tell you about it and then I'll show it to you and then I'll come back to you. Okay, no, maybe I'll show it to you now. No, okay, I got to tell you a little bit so you'll know what to look for because it's super fast. Okay, so we have a peanut feeder. That's what you're seeing in this. And by the way, I am not a Nat Geo filmographer. Like, this is not on a tripod, so it's going to be like that, okay? It's not the perfect lighting. I literally was like, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? And then had to grab a camera and just try to get the best I could because I was really like, this is a thing. Anyway. So what you're seeing is a peanut feeder. And basically what it is like a metal mesh tube that you can put just like raw, unsalted, untreated peanuts in. And then the birds like it. Some of the birds like it, like your insect birds. So like nuthatches really like it, and our woodpeckers really like it. Now everybody's like suet for woodpeckers, and I understand. Our woodpeckers haven't been interested in the suet, and quite frankly, what happens is our sparrows eat it. House sparrows are not supposed to eat suet, but they're equal opportunity, y'all. That's why there's a million of them. So what happens is I put it out and then like the sparrows will eat their food, the seed, and then I'll let the seed run out because like I'm trying to like be reasonable. So then they eat the suet. Anyway, it's just, the woodpeckers enjoy the peanuts. And the sparrows do get on there. You could actually see it. If I include that video, you can see the woodpecker chasing off a sparrow or like at least giving it side eye. I can't remember now. But they don't seem to really have much success. They seem to try, but they don't seem to have success at the peanut feeder. So what you're going to see is a male red-bellied woodpecker, and he's eating from the feeder. And he's the only one I've seen do this, and I haven't seen him do it to this extent yet. Again, he actually uses his tongue. Like most birds, when they go to the peanut feeder, will stick their beak into the mesh, break up a nut, and then pull out a piece of it to eat. And you can see the process. Well, I think maybe when he was breaking the peanuts, they were breaking into large pieces. And so he couldn't quite get them out. So he's using his tongue to like whip in and get them and try to pull them out. He's not, I mean, he is successful. He does get food, but it really does just look like he's licking all of the peanuts in the feeder so that the other birds can have them. Which, by the way, if that was your comment on Instagram, the picture that I put up there, thank you. It's given me so much joy. So it really looks like he's just licking all the peanuts that the other birds can't have. I licked it. It's mine. It's mine. So here it is. Did you see it? Right? I turned off the sound because A, you can't hear him. B, you would hear me breathing, and you would probably hear a dog squeaking a toy because... Also, advance warning, the dogs are probably going to be loud today. I will try to, like, they seem pretty chill right now, but we have our windows open. And like, while I'm really excited that it's spring and it's so lovely, every year this time I'm like, oh, that's right. I hate our neighborhood. I want to like put a positive light on it, like that's not really true, but it totally is. I really love that we can afford to live in a house, but I really don't like where it is. And like this time of year, I'm reminded of that like tenfold. Oh my God. How are there 9,000 dogs on our street who never stop barking? Okay, they stopped now. But there was a how is it that the dog across the street somehow is out of the house at 5:30 in the morning barking its head off? What? How can I hear your dog, but you can't hear your dog? Oh my God. Anyway, sorry. Woodpecker. Isn't that fun? So the female does not do that at all. I've never seen, we have a pair of the red-bellied woodpeckers. And yes, that is what they are, in case you're curious. That's what those are. I know their bellies don't look red. They're, even when they're in the darkest shades, like of their mating or whatever, they just kind of look blush. They do not look red. I don't know. I don't know what white man named those, but he was clearly drunk on grain liquor. So, what was I saying? So yeah, isn't that fun? So I feel like I can do a podcast because I had that to show you, even though there's not a lot of knitting. Okay, but what's happening other than that? Okay, so now that I've shared that with you, let's send out big thank yous to Patreon people! Folks who donate to the podcast via Patreon or PayPal, thank you so much. Let's do prizes. So I do 3 prizes every quarter, and I pull from the folks who donate to the podcast that way. And so this quarter's prize is that you get a little set of napkins from me. So they're just like, I'm not a fancy napkin sewist. Like their corners are mitered, but some of they're not perfect. And these are just like smallish ones, but I actually find much usefuler. Joanna Spring made me some that are about this size, and I use them so much more than the ones that I have that are a little bit bigger, which I think is maybe more of a standard napkin size, a little bit bigger. But I use this size a lot more because like when you're just having a little snack, and also it's really more napkin than you ever need at one time, unless you're just... I am judging you if you need more than this at one time. Unless you're eating barbecue on a bone, then okay. All bets are off in that case. But, so you each get a set of 4 of these, so there's no need to tell me what your prize you want. You're all getting the same damn thing. I do try to not curse in this podcast. Sometimes I fail. So yeah, you get those. Yay! And like, they're not fancy. I used to think cloth fat napkins were super fancy. They're mega unfancy. You literally just use it and then throw it in the wash machine for the next time the wash is getting done. Like, it's a no fuss, no muss kind of thing. Do not iron them. I will haunt you if you do. Unless it really makes you happy. In that case, go ahead and iron them. But otherwise, just do not iron them. They get a little soft and a little rumple, and it's so pleasant. And so there. So the first prize goes to Terry S. Terry, if your email address involves 3 T's and it's a Gmail, that's you. Send me an email. I'll put my email address here. Second prize goes to Philip R. Whoa. If your email address involves your last name and home biz, that's you. Email me. I'm not going to put the address again. Let's not be crazy. It was there. Just rewind. And then the third prize goes to Alyssa M. If your email address is your first initial and an underscore and your last name and it's Hotmail, that's you, Alyssa M. Alyssa M. Alyssa. So thank you again to Patreon and PayPal donators to the podcast. You're fabulous. Yay! Gus is so excited about you that he took a nap. That means you're safe and he's comfortable with you. There's not a better sign. So I'll get those out to you, okay? Okay, what else do we have to talk about? I do have rather a list. Oh, okay, so woodpecker jokes. In other bird feeder news, I don't think I mentioned last time that we do have 2 pairs of house finches. So they're sweet and cute. At least 2 pairs, because I've seen both of the males and both of the females at one time. There may be more, because I see them like all the time, but there's at least 2 pairs. We definitely have a pair of the red-bellied woodpeckers. I've seen the male and the female. We have, I believe, I could be wrong, but I think we have 2 pairs of downy woodpeckers, because I've never seen both the males at once, but one of the males seems to have spikier hair than the other. And I don't know, maybe it's just bedhead, and maybe it's really the same guy, but I'm just saying, I'm not surprised if there's 2 pairs. And then the other day I saw a dark-eyed junco, but I've never seen him again. I just saw him once. So he needs to come back and visit. But those are all of our new birds. Come on, the woodpecker was exciting, right? Come on, it's raining. Okay, what else do I want to talk about? So if you're going to be at the fiber event, so that's in Greencastle, Indiana, if you've never been and you're in the vicinity, I highly recommend it. I mean, it's not Rhinebeck, but it's the Rhinebeck of Indiana. Actually, I think that title might be stolen by, there's a fiber festival I went to once outside of Seymour, Indiana. And I think that they might call themselves that. But as of like 5 years ago when I went, that's not who they are. But the fiber event is happening. I will be there on Saturday. I have a class in the afternoon, so I'm taking the sock spinning class, and that starts at 1. So I thought like we would do last year's, that we'd have like a little meetup. And I will start that, I'm planning to start that at 11, and it will be in the same place it was last year, which is the 4-H barn, which is not sanctioned by the fiber event people, by the way. But it's not like I'm charging money or making money, or I'm just like, we're going to sit there together. We could sit there, I think it's cool. So last year was really nice. It was just like a pleasant little, like, just break in the day. If you want, you can bring your lunch, you can bring a snack. Don't, like, just, whatever. I will try to bring, I will bring some extra chairs, and there will be extra chairs for fat ladies. It is, in terms of accessibility, the roads, or the like, I'm looking for a different word. They're roads. The roads there, I think, are mostly gravel. There is the main like little loop, I think. Actually, I don't even think that's paved. So it's gravel, and then it does kind of, the 4-H barn is like right on that, but there is a little grassy patch, and of course the 4-H barn is like a concrete pad. So there's like a transition from a grassy patch to a concrete pad, which is, I'm not sure. But then the concrete pad itself is a concrete pad. And so I will have some like camping chairs, or like the soccer chairs, or whatever, those like foldable fabricy ones. And I will have some for ladies about my size. I think the weight on them, I think a few of them are 400 pounds. But so just so you know, that's what's going on. You can bring your own chair. You don't have to. So yeah, I hope to see you there. And if I don't see you at the meetup, we'll just say hello if you see me. So we'll be there. This dog is so cute. He's laying on my foot. And he's laying in sunshine, because that's her jam. She prefers to lay in the sunshine. Okay, so that's the fiber event. So that's on Saturday, I think March 19th. So 11 to 12:30 at the 4-H barn. Keep it on the down low. Okay. And so then we finished spring break. I say we, but I kind of took a spring break. Oh, other things that I'm doing that are coming up, and that kind of ties in anyway. I will also be, of course, at Needles Up on the Friday of Maryland Sheep and Wool. Are you going to be there? So the Friday before Maryland Sheep and Wool, which is like, what, May 3rd? The Friday of Maryland Sheep and Wool. We will be doing Needles Up. So I will be there. Legacy Fiber Arts, of course, will be there. Tuft Woolen will be there. Fiber Nymph will be there. Classy Squid will be there. And Doghouse Pottery will be there this year. Right. It's an amazing crew of humans. So it's going to be in the same location it was last year, which is Columbia, Maryland, which just is like a short little jaunt from West Friendship. In fact, if you're staying at a hotel, you're likely to be staying either there or very close by. So I hope you will come see us. I think general admission is from 1 to 6, and there is no charge. So you can just stop by and say hello. There's no pressure. No, I promise you I will not remember if you bought anything or not. I don't like keep a list. If you just want to come by and visit and say hello, it's a great place to do it. So come say hi and then also shop though. But if you don't, that's fine too. Just say hello. It's super fun. I will be at the Maryland Sheep Pool on Saturday. I believe that there is a podcaster meetup at 1:30. Okay, so I had to get the map pulled up. Well, I didn't have to, but I did. So the the ladies at Cocktail Hour at the Coop posted about it. It's 1:30 on Saturday, May 4th, and it is also by the 4-H building. Thanks for copying me. So, like, here you go. In case you don't have the Instagrams, that's where it is. Okay? Okay. So I will try to be there. I'll try my bestest. Last year I was a little bit fried for some reason by Saturday, but this year I'm traveling solo. So that will either make me more or less fried. I'm not sure. But so if you see me, don't hesitate to say hello. I will be on my own. Hopefully not carrying 4 fleeces. Last year was good. I had my buddy with me and I was like, I'm not taking her into that fleece tent because she'll be bored. She actually probably wouldn't have been. She'd probably been really excited because she was super cute about the sheep. But I was like, oh, now there's nobody to hold me back. Imagined or real. I'm not good at self-control. Maybe you should come and buy a bag. So yay, that's coming. And then what else? So it's been spring break. So we've been doing lots of stuff around the house. This is one of the reasons I don't have a lot of knitting done. The other reason I don't have a lot of knitting done is that I've had like a weird, just like, you know, sometimes you just get off, right? Just had like a week of like spending too much time doing other stuff that was not productive at all. It was just like brain candy stuff. But yeah, sometimes you gotta do that. Anyway, so we spent lots of time though doing walks, and we went to the nature center in Cincinnati, which was like one of my super favorite places. I saw this thing on BuzzFeed when I was doing brain candy stuff that was all about like what made you think people were rich when you were a kid, and the answers were things like people who had the indoor, and it's obvious that there's like a big generational difference between some of these things because some of them are like had the refrigerator with the water and the ice in the door. Super fancy. I remember that was very fancy. I don't think anybody else, but I was always like the people with the giant satellite dish. Fancy. And now I was going to try to give you an example of like what I thought younger people would have seen and said was but now I can't remember any of them. And blah, 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 blah. I can't remember any of them. But yeah, like the big cable package, like if you had the pay channels like HBO and stuff. So fancy. Actually, I thought all cable in general was super fancy. So fancy. Things were like brand name snacks in the house, brand name cereals. That was fancy, brand name cereals. We had brand name cereals because I don't even remember. Did we even have, I mean, there must have been generics, but we didn't have like the candy cereals. Those were fancy. Actually, when I went to college, Smith College's dining system, when I went, was the best. Like, you had a dining hall in your house. Did not have to go to, like, centralized dining. So you could just roll down the stairs in the middle of the winter in your pajamas and get your breakfast. And it was, like, it was so awesome. But what I knew that it was super fancy is I did kitchen duty because I was a work study kid. And I can still very vividly remember taking the tour of the kitchen, like as your before college starts kind of thing. And they had box cereals, like brand name boxed cereals, not in like an industrial like chute that you like were like a cattle and just like pulled and like the cereal. No, in the box, like Kix and Fruit Loops and Grape Nuts. And we actually got to vote on which cereals we were going to have in the house. So fancy. Also, there was still service, like dinner service, like from the olden times. Like there was still like silver flatware. Not all of it was silver anymore. There's just like a few pieces that were left. So fancy. That was a lot for me to say. Didn't plan that tangent. We went to the nature center and it was so nice. We didn't do like crazy walks. We just did like a couple shorter walks because we had the new pup and it was like the first time we had him on a leash. So that was like trying to figure that out and like figure out everybody's stamina situation and all that good stuff. So, but it was really fun and I felt super fancy because we saw a couple of wildflowers on our walk that I mean, I don't know the name of any wildflowers. Like I'm not good at that. Like I got Linton Rose and like Mayapple, maybe a few other ones, but that's limited. So so then when we got done, I was super fancy and got to go into the gift store and purchase a book on wildflowers. Now it was not a Peterson's guide. They did actually, I would have totally sprung for it just for like the most lush treat yourself moment. They didn't have one, but it was still super glossy wildflower guide. I felt so fancy. And we had lots of fun and it was nice. And Gus does really great on the leash, although I will say we never trained our dogs. I know, right? Awful. I mean, Annie was the first dog, so she's the most trained of our dogs. Olive suffered from second dog syndrome and that I didn't train her at all. Sorry, Olive. But they were like little dogs. I mean, you know. But one of the things that they do is that Annie and Olive both really pull on the lead. Now, Annie really pulls on the lead, and then Olive just wanted to be right next to her because Olive's allegiance was always to Annie. Annie's allegiance was always to us. So that's that I never taught Annie not to pull on the lead because really there's no excuse. Just bad dog owner. But I will be honest with you. Now we have Gus and he does not pull on the lead at all. He actually wants to be on a separate lead. Annie and Olive wanted to be on a splitter. Like she wanted to be so close to Annie that you could not have her on a leash because then they would kind of like compete. They would jockey for who was going to be first. And it was annoying. So we put them on a splitter and so then they would be like dogs on a dog sled team. And that's really what they were because now we have Gus and he doesn't pull at all. He wants to be on his own lead. He does not like to be with Annie because he's happy to like hang back. Does not pull on the leash at all. But Tova had Annie on all of our walks we've done these few weeks. Annie and Tova takes Annie because Tova likes to walk in front and Annie likes to walk in front, so it makes sense. And then I've got Gus, but now that I have Gus, I'm like, oh, those little like 15-pound dogs pulling actually does make going up hills quite a bit easier. It makes going down hills a little scarier, especially like when there's steps and stuff. But it does make going up hills significantly easier. So like, I miss that. I mean, I miss Olive in so many ways, but I do miss that because it was really nice. I mean, you'd think at the beginning of the walk, you'd be annoyed with them, like, God, stop pulling. But by like 2/3 of the way through, you're just like, okay, it's not just like the help. I think it's also just like the motivation. Like she's going to keep a pace and you feel motivated to go with it because like, unless you want your arm wrenched out of its socket, you're not going to go against it. He's just like, so then I'm like, whatever. Is that enough of me talking about nothing? Oh my gosh. So that was always great. And then we also moved, oh my gosh. We're gearing up for the garden. I hope our garden is not an epic fail. If it is, it's okay. Because like, sometimes you do stuff and you're not good at it. But I really hope it goes okay this year. And then I got sucked into this YouTube vortex of vertical gardening. So we moved a bunch of our we have 4 raised beds. Actually, there's like 4 4x4 foot raised beds that we have. So we originally, when we got them, we put them against our privacy fence on one side. Because I just, like, that's been See, Toba was like 3 or 4, so it's been like 9 years ago, 8 or 9 years ago. That was when I had a real job still. Whoa. So we had them against like our privacy fence just so they would be like more out of the way was my thought. And like, I didn't want to put them like in the middle of the yard because I wasn't really sure if this was going to be a thing we did or whatever. But it made accessing the deepest part of them challenging. I mean, I could reach, but it was kind of obnoxious. So we decided this year to pull them away from the fence so that we'd have like a bit of a pathway on either side so it's easier to get to access everything. So we did that, which was always more work than you think it's going to be. So we had to like dig the new beds and then like move the old beds, and then I had to break one of the beds, and then by the way though, like these things are 9 years old, so breaking a board is not the worst thing that could have happened. And so then you had to like move all the soil that was in the beds into the beds, but it was good because the beds needed to be redug anyway. Even though so exhausting. But we've actually had weather to do it in, which has been amazing. And Gus and Annie had a grand old time. Gus rolled in so many strange things that I then had to wash off of him. He's so gross. But whatever, it was good. So now we're just gearing up. We've got our tomatoes and cucumbers are started. I don't know. I'm really worried about how warm if they're gonna be warm enough, but whatever. They're chilling in the basement, doing their thing. Hopefully they will start to make their way out of the soil soon. I'm so nervous. We're getting ready. Oh, so the thing about the sticking vertical gardening, do you know about these cow panels? Did not know this was even a thing, and now I'm like 75 of those is what we need. It's not real at all. We do not need 75. They're like they're 50 inches. So they're like panels that you would use to fence in livestock. There's hog panels and cow panels and goat and sheep panels, and the difference mostly is just the size of the openings because they're like a welded wire thing. So cow panels they're different sizes, but the most popular one is like 50 inches wide by 16 feet long. And so what you do is you use like those T-posts and you make vertical arches, or you make arches for your garden, and then people are growing like winter squash on them. They're so cool. I think I've convinced myself that is a next year's project. So I was like all planning all these different, I was like, oh my gosh, and then we need to do this, and then we could do that. And then our backyard is so tiny. We live in the city. Whatever. I'm like ready to just gravel the whole thing, make it all raised beds, have a patch of like wildflowers / grass for dog potty, and then just everything else be crazy, like arches and squashes hanging off of them and tomatoes and then like cucumbers. Really out my mind. So I had to Google, and then I was all like, wait, 16 feet? How do you even transport that? So then I had to like figure out how you transport it. I'm out of control, people. Out of control. But my fantasy farming game is really up there. Let's see if my reality farming game is at all successful. When I have more than just like boxes of dirt to show you, I will show you. But right now it's just like boxes of dirt and then like my cruddy yard, which is just all crud all the time. Like very spotty grass coverage. If I were a fancy lady, I would again just put gravel down and pretend I was English. Y'all got some gravel game in England. I don't know what's going on over there, but y'all know how to use some gravel. People's whole yards are just gravel. What? What is that? It's fascinating. Anyway. My husband, who is the one who mows the grass, is of course completely behind this idea. Except for the fact that even like this much gravel is like $1 million. Okay, that's not at all true. But I'm also not into spending like $5,000 to gravel a yard. And also like interacting with the people to get the truck of gravel and then like moving all that gravel. Nah. We'll just go with our spotty grass for another few years. Should we talk about knitting? Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so embarrassing. Did I do any, I mean, I can't even remember if I worked on this at all, but I feel like maybe I did. Did I work on my Yoke, Ellen Yoke sweater at all that I'm knitting with Patagonia by Juniper Moon? I think I barely worked on it. Oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing. But it is quite lovely and very Eastery and is really making me think it needs to be a crop sweater. Part of my knitting these last 2 weeks has been the constant need to not cast on 7 other crop sweaters. Soldotna, I've already got colors picked out and everything. It's all over there. I'm looking at it. Do you see the dreamy heart eyes? Ursa came out. Cropped sweater specifically for fat ladies. There's an Ursa minor for your non-fat ladies. So exciting. For fat folks and for non-fat folks. There's so many options. So excited. So I really don't think I even worked on it like 3 rows or something. I do, however, have more progress completed on a sweater that I cast on right after Rhinebeck, I feel. So this is one of the new, this is another thing I'm excited about though, yo. I'm gonna have these at Needles Up. So they're waxed canvas and then cork on the bottom. How fun is that? So it's just my regular design. This is a sweater size. Oh, the other thing that's fun. Metal zippers. I was concerned. I was so worried. I love the look of the metal zipper. It's so cute. For some reason, oh, that mustard with the navy. I'm just so excited about it. But then I was like, oh man, I don't know about this zipper, how it's going to do with the yarn. And I was very, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even use it for a few days after I sewed the test one because I thought, oh, it's going to snag. It doesn't snag any more than a regular zipper at all. It doesn't catch or anything. What? And I'm even using Harrisville's Nightshades, which is like a kind of cloudy, floofy yarn, and it's still doing great in there. I was so concerned. I don't know why I was concerned. Look, it's fine. It's like I'm going to break my yarn, just kind of pulling it at a weird angle, and you'd be like, see, I knew it. So I'm super excited about that. So yes, I'm going to have those at Needles Up as well. How exciting. They will have actual handles. I just have my tape measure on here now because I need my tape measure. So I started the Ducat, which is a pattern by Davies. I started it last fall, and so I need to finish that up. I was really hoping that Kate would say something amazing and like, whatever. But I want to finish it up. And it is size, unlike most of her patterns, it does have a generous size range. So the size range is, the size range is 37 inches to 58 inches. And it is meant to be worn with quite a bit of positive ease. 6 inches of positive ease. I will not have 6 inches of positive ease in mine. I might have 2. Might. Do you say I might? I'm done knitting the bust. I still don't really know how much positive ease I have. After a while, you just knit, and then you're like, we'll see what happens. But so anyway, here it is. I know, right? So the thing I have to show you that I've made the most work on is still just like a black blob. Sorry about the knitting content this time, guys. But anyway, so I've separated the sleeves, so I'm onto the body. I have 4 inches of the body, so I have another 3 inches, and then I start ribbing. So yeah. I love this yarn so much. This is Harrisville Designs Nightshades. This is Insomnia. It has just the very slightest bit of olive green in it. I don't even know if you'll be able to really see it, to be honest. This is probably the best. Oh yeah, you can see a bit. So it just has the slightest bit of olive to it, but from a distance it doesn't read that way at all. So I'm very excited about this yarn. I kind of hope they start doing this base in different colors as well, like as in more traditional colors, just because I really enjoy it and it would be great for color work. Anyway, so there's that. It's just, again, just a blob. Sorry. Whatever. But, so it's just a traditional top-down raglan. It has like a bit of a squared out, scooped out neck. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I hope it's cute and fun. It totally will be. So yeah, so there's that. And then that's really all I have to show you. I know, right? Next time, I can't guarantee anything. Next time will be next time. But you know what? I'm releasing myself of guilt because I showed you that footage of a woodpecker's tongue. So I think my job's done. I think I've done a good job. So yeah, I hope I see you at Maryland Sheeple. Oh, if you're not going to be Maryland Sheeple and you're like, but I would like one of those. I'm imagining that I will have some probably after SSK, which is like July. So probably for the fall, I'll have some in the shop. So yeah. I still don't know how I feel about the waxed canvas, but I like it better than I thought I would, to be honest with you. I had gotten a sample of it that was super, super waxed, and like everything stuck to it, like lint-wise and everything. This has a little bit less tack to it. Actually, it doesn't feel tacky at all. But you know, you still do get, I think it still does attract lint more so than a regular fabric or regular canvas. But even like my brushed canvases do that. So I think I like it. And I certainly like the way it looks. So I think on the ones that I make for the rest of them, I will actually make the cork a little bit deeper. Probably at least an inch deeper. Maybe 2, I don't know. That's crazy. But, so yeah. So yay, that. So that's all. And I'll talk to you next time.